We begin from the Middle East, where cargo ships are anchoring off the eastern coast of the United Arab Emirates as heightened tensions around the Strait of Hormuz force vessels to wait, reroute or risk dangerous passage. Here is Glory Abo with the details.
Off the UAE coast, these vessels are not simply waiting for cargo to be loaded or unloaded. They are waiting for the sea to become safe enough to move. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most important shipping choke points, have seen maritime traffic plummet amid renewed regional hostilities. Recent data show only a handful of commercial vessels passing through the strait, compared with more than 130 daily transits before the current conflict. For ship crews, the disruption is more than a trade story. Every day spent anchored means more uncertainty, delayed deliveries, higher operating costs, and a greater concern over the safety of seafarers. The risks have become more real after recent attacks on vessels, and as shipping companies limit movement through the waterways, the effects can reach far beyond the Gulf, threatening energy supplies, global trade, and the prices paid by ordinary consumers. For the men and women who work at sea, the message from Hormuz is clear. When geopolitical tensions close a shipping lane, the cost is not only measured in cargo and money, but also in human safety and livelihoods.
Pope Leo XIV has expressed deep concern over the intensification of the war in Ukraine, condemning attacks that kill and injure civilians. Again, Glory Abo reports.
Speaking at the general audience in St. Peter's Square, Pope Leo XIV called for an end to the escalating violence in Ukraine. The pontiff condemned attacks on civilians, warning that the continuing hostilities are only deepening human suffering. He said, war does not solve any problems, but only makes them worse, while appealing to those involved to choose dialogue and peace. The Pope's comments come as Russia and Ukraine continue to intensify airstrikes. Russia had earlier warned foreign citizens and diplomats to leave Kyiv, saying it planned further strikes on the Ukrainian capital. The warning triggered strong reactions from Western governments, which accused Moscow of further escalating the conflict. Recent attacks have also resulted in civilian deaths and damages to home and critical infrastructure, further raising concerns about the humanitarian cost of war. As the conflict continues, Pope Leo XIV is urging both sides to break the cycle of violence, protect civilians, and make room for diplomacy and a peaceful resolution. In another development, for thousands of earthquake survivors in Indonesia's East Nusa Tenggara province, home is no longer a place of safety. Days after a powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake, families are sleeping in makeshift camps, too afraid to return home as aftershocks continue. Their homes are damaged, their routines shattered, and for many, the ground still does not feel safe. Thousands of survivors have spent a third night outdoors, taking refuge on higher ground and in temporary shelters as aftershocks keep the fear alive. The 7.7 magnitude earthquake has killed at least 68 people and injured more than 200, while nearly 13,000 people have been displaced. But beyond the numbers are families now facing the basics of survival. Clean water, food, electricity and sanitation remain in short supply in some of the worst affected communities, while damaged roads and landslides are making it harder for aid to reach remote areas. And the shaking has not stopped. Nearly 1,600 aftershocks have been recorded since the main quake, leaving many residents too traumatized to risk going back into their homes. For these survivors, the earthquake may have lasted only moments, but its fear, loss, and uncertainty continue. As rescue teams search for the missing and relief efforts continue, survivors are left with a simple plea: help them find water, shelter, and a safe place to call home. Glory Agbo, NTA News.
Now, 62 young entrepreneurs from Ecowas member states are to participate in the second edition of the Regional Startup Awards intended to throw up a new generation of innovators in the sub-region. They are the successful ones out of 6,000 applicants for this edition, planned to focus on tech-led budding enterprises. Kelvin Ewunwayi reports.
Across West Africa, talents abound among young people. Many are breaking new grounds in innovation and science, but scaling up profitable ventures often meets with hurdles in financing and policy navigation. The Ecowas Startup Award, founded in 2021, is primarily designed to lend a helping hand to brilliant young entrepreneurs in the sub-region to create an ecosystem of innovators who can collaborate to scale up their businesses into regional and continental success. The second edition will feature masterclasses and incubation mentorship for 60 successful applicants, from which top 3 will be rewarded with $30,000, $20,000 and $15,000 respectively.
We want to facilitate digital adoption among micro, small and medium-scale enterprises. We want to connect startups to venture capitalists, impact investors, development partners, and financial institutions. You agree with me that access to finance is one of the key challenges of doing business in our region.
Priority will be given to tech-led innovations in agriculture, finance, health, and others critical to ECOWAS regional integration objective, intended to build on the momentum of the success of the first edition in Niger in 2021. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewunwayi, NTA News.
The suspended former Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly has been ordered to return all official documents and government property in his possession. The directive was given by the newly sworn-in Speaker, Yekini Diaye, while presiding over plenary shortly after his inauguration. Obeyi Otobo reports.
Rumors of the impending change in the House leadership were confirmed when the Deputy Speaker, Osamoyi Atu, presided over plenary. Proceedings were briefly disrupted following the entrance of the former Speaker, Blessing Agbebako. After a heated argument, he was allowed to officially inform the House of his resignation. Thereafter, the House unanimously approved the nomination of Yekini Diaye, member representing Akoko Edo Constituency 1, as the new Speaker. In his first pronouncement from the Speaker's chair, Yekini Diaye announced the indefinite suspension of the former Speaker, the Majority Leader, the Minority Leader, and the Minority Whip, citing poor administration of the state legislature.
We shall not allow the House to be riddled with misdirections and corruption due to the error and greed of few men. Never again shall a blind and greedy man be allowed to lead this robust assembly. The event of today, change of that, is a change for better legislative work and effective application of parliamentary practice devoid of personal interest, corruption, poor leadership, and failure to uphold the code of office sworn to.
Following a relatively peaceful transition of leadership, the House adjourned sitting. In Benin, Obeyi Otobo, NTA News.
With communication increasingly shaping how nations build trust, manage crisis and strengthen international relations, Nigeria is set to host the 2026 World Public Relations Forum in Abuja. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations says the global gathering will bring together key stakeholders to address emerging communication challenges and explore new opportunities for Nigeria and the international community. Correspondent Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa reports.
With information moving faster across borders, responsible and credible communication is vital to building trust and strengthening relations among nations. It is against this backdrop that the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations is set to host the 2026 World Public Relations Forum in Abuja. The forum will bring together professionals, policy makers, academics, and business leaders from across the world to discuss emerging communication challenges and highlight opportunities for Nigeria and participating countries.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the chief host because, like I said, it's a Nigerian project, and Nigerian government and Nigerian people take this event very, very serious.
We need to harness communication to promote truth, trust, understanding, inclusion, and peace.
The forum is likewise relevant at this point in time when we are confronted with the problem of misinformation.
For Nigeria, the forum presents an opportunity to showcase its rich cultural diversity and professional capacity. Apart from key discussion sessions to be conducted at the forum on the 15th to 21st November 2026, foreign nationals are also expected to experience different Nigerian attires and enjoy the popular Nigerian jollof rice. In Abuja, Abdul Mohammed Bawa, NTA News.
The Office of the National Security Advisor, in collaboration with its international partners, have launched the Nigeria's National Strategy for Combating Organized Crime. What are the implications of strategic policy on the renewed efforts to further secure the nation? Defense correspondent Ismail Musa tells us how.
Across Nigeria and the Gulf of Guinea, criminal networks exploit porous borders, ungoverned spaces, and emerging technologies to expand their attacks. In response, security, intelligence, and law enforcement agencies have intensified counter-operations, recording success in drug seizures, arms recovery, the disruption of kidnapping and piracy networks, and the dismantling of trafficking syndicates.
Sustained collaboration, not one-off collaboration, is the key to dismantling organized crime networks.
No single country, however capable, can insulate itself from transnational organized crime alone.
The Office of the National Security Advisor is strengthening coordination among agencies through intelligence sharing and joint operations. This approach is reflected in the launch of the first Nigeria's National Strategy for Combating Organized Crime.
We are confident that with political will, interagency discipline, Nigeria will emerge from the 2027-2031 period stronger, safer, and more resilient.
What makes this one special is also has a monitoring and evaluation phase of it. It's not just to have the strategy. For each time we have to monitor and see where we have made mistakes, evaluate what we've done, and look forward and see how we can implement it better.
As criminal networks continue to cross borders and exploit institutional gaps, stronger partnerships and coordinated action remain critical to disrupting these networks. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Senior Special Assistant to the President on Community Engagement, North Central, Abiodun Esiet, says sustainable peace requires more than security interventions. She highlights community engagements, inclusive governance, early warning and response mechanisms, and collaboration among government institutions, traditional and religious leaders, civil society, women, youth, and the private sector as key. She stated this during the launch of the National Peace Framework Development Initiative as the Office of the National Security Advisor in Abuja. The SSC also expressed confidence that the process will produce a framework that reflects Nigeria's aspirations, strengthens community resilience and social cohesion, and promotes a more peaceful, secure, and united nation. She described the framework as timely and necessary in addressing Nigeria's evolving security challenge, while commending the Office of the National Security Advisor and its partners for the initiative. You're watching the news on NTA International. Time to take a short break. More reports when we return. Do stay tuned.
you have no better friend and partner than Nigeria. Let this unveiling today be a call to conscience. Let our practitioners hold the line of truth. To the media, please inform with integrity and with a deep sense of patriotism. To our public officers, communicate with transparency. To citizens, please let us speak with empathy. Let us come together to become the voice of responsibility, the voice of the world that heals division, that inspires hope and drives development.
Despite sustained advocacy against the practice, cases of violence against women and girls continue to emerge in the public space. Now, the Federal Ministry of Justice and partners have unveiled a violence against women reporting system to further Nigeria's efforts in this regard. Here is the report.
Although a movie, cases such as this are not strange. They emphasize the negative impact of SGBV on females. A victim typically tries to hide from the shame, refusing to report that she was assaulted. But now, there's an online platform available for such incidents to get to authorities, including law enforcement agencies and the courts.
Between January and May of this year, the National Human Rights Commission recorded over 33,000 sexual and gender-based violence cases reported to them. Equally, NAPTIP documented over 3,000 cases of violence against women in the Federal Capital Territory.
These figures tell an important story as they remind us that reporting violence is only the beginning of a survivor's journey. What happens after reporting matters just as much as the reporting itself.
This platform is aimed at centralizing that, so for uniformity's sake, standardizing, and then from a single point, anyone, the justice system can, from that single or central point, be able to have full visibility of what is happening around SGB-related cases.
Although Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act is now active in 35 states, and the National SGBV Cases Dashboard reporting over 2,300 cases since 2020, the Justice Ministry and its supporting partners, EU International IDEA, seek to take the message against SGBV to all segments of the Nigerian society.
The 2026 Osun State governorship election has come and gone, but beyond the declaration of a winner, election observers say the exercise offers critical lessons for strengthening Nigeria's electoral process ahead of the 2027 general elections. Femi Afariogun has more.
The assessment of the Osun election presents a mixed but largely encouraging picture. One of the observer groups, the Civil Society Organizations on Community Advancement and Humanitarian Empowerment Initiative, in collaboration with the Center for Information and Community Support Development, says improved logistics, functional electoral technology, professional security deployment, and peaceful voter conduct are seen as gains.
As far as the INEC and the security apparatus are concerned, we've seen an improvement in their official, administrative, and operational conduct.
One of the clearest improvements was election day logistics, despite the significant disruption caused by the last-minute court order.
At the same time, the group and other organizations believe late commencement of polls, technical challenges, and vote-buying allegations remain issues that require institutional attention.
Incidents of vote buying, we hold INEC and security agents to investigate these and take correct measures.
As Nigeria begins the countdown to the 2027 general elections, Osun has provided an important case study for credible polls. In Osogbo, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Now, still on election matters, the International Republican Institute's pre-election assessment mission from the United States of America for Nigeria's 2027 general election has visited the National Working Committee of the People's Democratic Party. Timothy Yusuf reports that the visit is essentially to assess the level of preparedness of the PDP ahead of the 2027 general election.
Discussions between the leadership of the PDP and the visiting International Republican Institute's pre-election assessment mission from the United States of America began with last Saturday's off-cycle governorship election in Osun State. Both parties noted that the will of the people prevailed in the election. They thereafter bared their minds on the level of preparation for the 2027 general election.
So our team that is here is assessing that situation, assessing how preparations are going, what parties are up to as well, what we should be looking for as we get closer to January, and hearing from a variety of stakeholders' viewpoints.
We are People's Democratic Party and we belong to the people of Nigeria, and our yearning and aspiration is to give responsibility to the electorate, and that is why for 20-something years ago, the party remained as a Democrat.
While the mission is expected to share recommendations soon with stakeholders towards having a preliminary statement, the PDP leadership says it is fully ready for the 2027 general election. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now, two books authored by former head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemieson, have been presented to the public for insight in public service, targeting public servants and individuals seeking professional growth in their careers. Elizabeth Omori reports that Vice President Kashim Shettima, serving and past government officials were present at the unveiling.
Helped of God, one of the books unveiled, was described as deep personal accounts born out of sheer hard work. It is the author's memoir, which chronicles a journey from childhood to public service, highlighting God's unfailing faithfulness through life's journey. The second work, aptly titled Making Reforms Work, examines the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 2025, driven to implementation by Dr. Folashade Yemieson.
There were difficult seasons, and at those difficult seasons taught her patience.
An account of 5 years, 14 chapters, a foreword by the former Vice President.
The civil service is the bedrock of this federation. It's the stability of the system.
You have ensured that the lessons of your stewardship will continue to guide present and future generations of public servants.
The dental surgeon and administrator served as head of civil service of the Federation from 2019 to 2024. She posits that ensuring productive public service is not a fruitless endeavor.
As captured in the books, your partnership demonstrated what can be achieved when government and the private sector work together to build stronger public institutions.
It's a pride of Kogi State. We are very, very proud of her.
The event also coincided with her 62nd birthday. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu has extended warm congratulations to elder statesman and former military president General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida on his 85th birthday. President Tinubu described General Babangida as an outstanding leader whose remarkable military career culminated in his leadership of the nation following the 1985 coup. Like him or not, former President Babangida impacted Nigeria in ways no other leader has. His 8-year reign left enduring marks on our political, economic and geographic landscape End of quote. President Tinubu remarked he specifically acknowledges how Babangida expanded the nation's economy, established a lasting infrastructure, and created several agencies and institutions that continue to serve the national interests, attributing the creation of many states to his foresight, wisdom, and sense of equity and fairness. He wished him continued grace, good health, and renewed strength. Also, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has congratulated former military President General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida on his 85th birthday, describing him as an elder statesman whose life and service occupy an important place in Nigeria's contemporary history. In a statement by the Special Assistant Media, Rabiu Ibrahim, the minister said General Babangida's journey through military service, national leadership, and statesmanship represents a significant chapter in Nigeria's political and institutional evolution. Idris noted that decades after leaving office, the former military president has remained engaged with issues of national importance, particularly those concerning Nigeria's unity, stability, and development. Idris wished the former military president many more years of good health, peace, and fulfillment, while praying that he continues to enjoy the affection of his family and the goodwill of Nigerians. Tuesday's weather forecast.